Minecraft, a game that has developed and changed over the years. Once upon a time, fishing rods were used in battle. Like, what even is that? But now, in 1.17 version of Minecraft, what is the best weapon? I'm gonna split it up into two categories, short range weapons and long range weapons, all around 1.17 version of Minecraft. Now the explaining is done, let's get into what is the best weapon in Minecraft. Actually, before I start, if you could subscribe, it would mean the world. Thanks and enjoy the video. Axes vs swords. This rivalry is similar to Dream vs Techno, friends but enemies at the same time. So which is better? Well, let's look at swords first. Over the years, the sword has dominated. This was because it was faster than the axe, which it still is, so this has a higher DPS. Combined with the fishing rods and a high click-through speed, you got 1.8 PvP, but it all changed in 1.9. They changed how much damage an axe can do. A wooden axe can deal the same amount of damage as a diamond sword. Okay, Minecraft, I am done. What even is that? I know you wanted to make PvP more realistic, but that just makes no sense. So let's look at the positives of the sword, compared to the axe. It has a higher DPS, which means higher attack speed, better durability, and finally a lot better enchantments for PvP, as the axe is limited compared to the sword. Key enchantments such as Fire Aspect, Sweeping Edge, and Knockback can play a part in winning a 1v1. Well, not Sweeping Edge, but that is good for killing a load of zombies. So they are the positives. What are the negatives? Well, attack damage is very poor. As I said, a diamond sword deals the same amount of damage as a wooden axe, which doesn't seem right, but it's actually true. The sword also doesn't disable shields, and in recent PvP, blocking with a shield is very important, and to disable that you need an axe, not a sword. So yes, the sword is good, but is it better than the axe? Well, let's look at the positives of the axe. The axe deals 10 attack damage when its strike is a critical hit, which is 5 hearts, one more than a sword. This is important as a sword would have to strike 3 times to kill a player, as an axe would only have to strike twice. Oh, and just to say, this is without enchantments. The axe has a 25% chance of disabling an opponent's shield. As I said, shields are very important as they can block strikes, and for an axe to have a chance of disabling a shield for 5 seconds, this could make you win so many fights, as you will be able to hit the person without them hitting you. Finally, the axe can be used for more things other than PvP, such as chopping down trees, so in survival, maybe the axe is a better option, as it saves a slot in your hotbar and is still good, if not better than the sword. So what are the negatives to the axe? Well, the axe is very slow at recharging, which makes it a lot slower to get critical hits. The axe is limited when it comes to enchantments, as you can't add Fire Aspect or Knockback to an axe, which can be very useful in PvP. But I'll shut up about which one is better and play with a clip of when both have been very effective in PvP.
George, killing me! No! I'll block, get back, get back! No! Kill him! Oh my god!
Good fight. I was on full health.
Really?
Yes.
They can both be used in certain situations, such as swords up close, and I mean up close, is better than an axe, as it's hard to block a shield when you're very close to each other, and you can get more critical hits off a lot faster, probably leading you to the dub. But in a planned 1v1 situation, I'd say an axe is better, because blocking with the shield and picking when you want to attack is so much easier and better for you to land those critical hits. And in 1.16 and 1.17 PvP, critical hits are pretty much everything. So which one is better? I think it's a Netherite Axe, with Sharp 5, Efficiency 5, Unbreaking 3 and Mending, as it can deal 18 HP points, which is 9 hearts. Even though it would still be a 2-tap in a 1v1 situation, I think an axe is way better than the sword. Let's just look at how quickly it takes for an axe to kill someone. 2 hits and you are dead. It's as simple as that. Obviously this is without armor. With armor it would take a lot more, but them critical hits, as I said, would deal more damage, and with the axe and all that armor, it would take a lot harder for the sword to kill you off, than the axe. But the truth of it is, the best combination is the axe and the sword, so you're ready for any situation, up close or a 1v1 situation, everything you got it covered. Bow vs crossbow vs trident. Which is the best? First things first, I can say that the tridents aren't good enough in PvP. They are amazing for exploring the Minecraft world, which is kind of my favourite item, but it is just not as good as the crossbow or bow in PvP. And this is for long range. The trident can be used for short range as well, but it's just not good enough for swords or axes. So I'm going to cross tridents out altogether. So that leaves the crossbow versus the bow. So we first need to look at the crossbow. The crossbow is very good in 1.16 because of a few things. But before I tell you the positives, I need to tell you which enchantment I think is best. Because there are two enchantments that make the crossbow completely different. Multi-shot or piercing, which is better? I think that piercing is better because piercing can go through entities. So if you had piercing 5, you can shoot through 5 zombies, which makes the crossbow more powerful to mobs. But that isn't it. Piercing will do more damage to a player that is holding a shield, which, as I said in 1.16, this is very useful, as pretty much all 1v1s will have shields, and the crossbow can break through it and deal some decent damage, which in the fight could win you more 1v1s. But what is multi-shot? Well, as it's in the title, multi-shot, it spreads one arrow shot into 3, so that you have a better chance of hitting your target, but it only deals the same amount of damage as one arrow, so it doesn't deal more damage or anything like that. So I think it's not as good as piercing. The final thing I need to explain about the crossbow is the way it is used. What I mean by this is that the crossbow can be loaded first, then used after. So you can load the arrow, then switch to your axe, fight a bit, and then switch back to your crossbow and still shoot the arrow, which can help catch people off guard as the motion is so quick. But the negative is how long it takes to pull the arrow back. It is very slow, which could lead you to getting hit and taking more damage. But this isn't it, as the enchantments are still a negative, as you can't add flame to it, and flame on a bow is very useful because it can slowly drain away someone's health and slow them down in the fight. Now let's get into the bow. The bow is OG, it's been in the game for a very long time and people have got used to it a lot, so more people would be entitled to use the bow because they have used it so much. So as people have used it a lot, they know everything to do with the bow. So what are the positives of the bow, as there is quite a lot. The bow has some amazing enchantments such as power, flame, infinity and punch, which I'm sure you know what they all do, so you know how useful and how powerful the enchantments are. So what are the negatives? The bow can break through the shield. This is the big one, as to stop a bow is all you have to do is just block with your shield. Very easy, as a shot normally happens from a long distance, so it gives you enough time to block with your shield. Also, to shoot an arrow from a bow you have to pull the bow back, and this gives it the most damage you could have, which will give you a massive tell when you are going to fire a shot. So I've weighed up the positives and negatives. Now I'm going to give you my opinion on which is better. I think the crossbow is better because it can deal damage through the shield, and you know the shield is OP, so anything that can damage you through that is going to be at the top. But to make both as powerful as possible, you can add something to the arrows, which will make them even more OP. So with the bow, you can have harming 2 arrows, which deals so much more damage, it's unreal. With a normal arrow, you can deal 5 hearts of damage, but with a harming arrow, you can deal 11 hearts of damage. This is with no armor, so it's a one shot. And this is without enchantments on the bow as well. It's just insane numbers. Also with the crossbow, you can add fireworks. Yes, fireworks. This will increase the damage. With a normal crossbow shot dealing an average of 5 hearts, but with a firework with 1 star, you can deal 8 hearts of damage, which is a 2 shot, and this is with no enchantments. Just look at this clip.
He's placing TNT. Back up, back up, back up, back up.
What?
Back up, he's placing TNT.
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
What?
Oh, what? Let's go! Let's go! Oh my gosh!
So with everything I have said, I think the crossbow is the best long range weapon and the axe is the best short range weapon. Everyone has their own opinion and their own personal preference, but with all the stats I've seen, I believe I am correct. But feel free to correct me in the comments. Subscribe for the rubber ducky and watch this video on screen as I think you might enjoy it. Thanks for watching.